You know that feeling, right? You're on a run, you're deep in a workout, and you just hit a wall. It feels like you physically cannot take another step. Well, what if I told you that decision to quit, it almost never actually comes from your body? Nope, it comes from your brain. So let's dive into the science of endurance and figure out how we can train our minds and our bodies to go way further than we ever thought possible. This quote from Stanford neurobiologist Andrew Huberman just nails it. We think our limits are all about our muscles burning or our lungs giving out, but the real control center, the thing that says, okay, you're done, it's all happening right between your ears. So what's actually going on up there when we decide to stop? You know, when people say performance is 90% mental, 10% physical, they're kind of missing the point. It's not 90-10. It's actually 100% neural. The entire experience of effort, of fatigue, and that final decision to quit is all orchestrated by your nervous system. Think about it like this. Your brain has a central governor. It's constantly monitoring your body, taking in all the signals, and making a judgment call. Can we keep pushing, or is it time to shut this down? And a key part of this whole system is the release of epinephrine, which you probably know as adrenaline. It's the ultimate readiness signal, telling your entire body and brain to be alert and ready for effort. Okay, so here's where it gets really fascinating. Deep in your brainstem, there's a specific little cluster of neurons whose whole job is to pump out this adrenaline. And what research has shown is that when these specific neurons shut off, you quit. It's not a slow fade, it's like a light switch being flipped. Your mind literally stops sending the keep going signal. So the real goal of endurance training, it's about training your brain to keep that switch flipped on for longer. All right, so to train that system, we need to understand what it's controlling. A great way to think about it is that our body has 5 critical engines. And on any given day, any one of them can be the thing that holds you back, the limiting factor on your performance. And here they are, the big 5. Your nerves, which send all the signals, the muscles, which actually do the work, the blood, which is like the delivery truck for fuel and oxygen, the heart, the pump that moves that blood, and the lungs, which bring in the all-important oxygen. When you feel like you can't go on, it's because one or more of these engines is hitting its red line. Our job with training is to upgrade every single one of them. So what powers all these engines? Well, it all comes down to a tiny molecule called ATP. This is the universal energy currency for basically everything you do. Lifting a weight, thinking hard, running a marathon, it doesn't matter. ATP is the fuel. Your body is this incredible factory for making it from stuff like carbs and fats. But here's a super important detail. To make that ATP really, really efficiently, you need oxygen. Now, oxygen itself isn't fuel. It's better to think of it like this. If your fuel, like fat and glucose, is the wood for a fire, oxygen is the wind that stokes that fire and makes it roar. Without enough oxygen, you just can't burn the fuel effectively to create the energy you need. So how do we actually upgrade these systems? It's not as simple as just go run for a long time. There are actually 4 distinct types of training, and each one is designed to target different parts of your endurance engines for specific upgrades. Here's a quick look at the whole toolkit. First, you've got muscular endurance training, which is all about fighting that burn in specific muscles. Then there's classic long-duration training, which makes you a super efficient fuel-burning machine. And then you have 2 different flavors of high-intensity interval training, or HIIT, anaerobic and aerobic, which are designed to push your oxygen systems to the absolute limit and, maybe most importantly, make your heart way stronger. Let's quickly break down those 2 types of HIIT, because the difference here is absolutely crucial. Anaerobic HIIT is about going all out, 100% max effort for a very short burst, but then you take a much longer rest. Think a full-on sprint for 20 seconds, followed by almost 2 minutes of recovery. You're actually working above what your body can sustain with oxygen. Aerobic HIIT, on the other hand, is about sustaining a really high effort, but not a maximal one. The work and rest periods are equal, like running hard for 7 minutes, then resting or jogging for 7 minutes. It's tough, but sustainable. Okay, so why do all this hard work? Well, the reason goes way beyond just getting better at running or cycling. The changes your body makes in response to this kind of training have these profound long-term effects, especially for your heart and, believe it or not, your brain. Let's look at your heart for a second. During intense training, a ton of blood rushes back to the heart. This literally stretches the walls of your heart muscle. And just like any muscle that gets stretched under load, your heart adapts. It gets thicker, it gets stronger. And what's the result? Your heart's stroke volume, the amount of blood it pumps with each beat, goes way up. your heart becomes a more powerful, more efficient engine. And this is where we see the whole body pay off. I mean, yeah, you get a more powerful heart and your muscles feel more efficiently, but the benefits do not stop at the neck. This kind of training actually causes the growth of new blood vessels in your brain, especially in areas that are critical for memory and focus. So you're not just building a stronger body, you are literally building a better, sharper, more resilient brain. Now, before we wrap up, I want to give you one incredibly simple but ridiculously powerful tool that affects all of these systems: hydration. You can have the most perfect training plan in the world, but if you ignore this, you're just leaving a ton of performance on the table. And this is exactly why it's so critical. If you lose just 1 to 4% of your body weight in sweat, which is really not that much, your physical and your mental performance can plummet by 20 to 30%. That's huge. Your brain's neurons need electrolytes like sodium to fire correctly, and when you're dehydrated, that whole system just goes haywire. So what's a good number to aim for? Well, according to exercise physiologist Dr. Andy Galpin, a great starting point for, say, a 180-pound person is about 6 ounces every 15 minutes or so. But you can actually get way more specific with a super simple formula. And here it is. It's called the Galpin equation. It is so simple. Just take your body weight in pounds, divide it by 30, and that's it. That number is a fantastic starting point for how many ounces of fluid you should be drinking every 15 to 20 minutes to stay on top of your game. So, there you have it. Endurance isn't just about grit or toughing it out. It's biology. It's a trainable skill, controlled by that central governor in your brain and powered by those 5 key engines. You now have the blueprint to upgrade every single one of them. So the only real question left is, which engine are you going to train first?